Hi Team Grade 5, it's your self-proclaimed favorite mathematics teacher, Miss Aaliyah. Welcome to another edition of Grade 5 Mathematics. But just in case you're not feeling motivated, remember the words of Paul Halmos. The only way to learn mathematics is to do mathematics. So grab a pencil and a notebook, get settled, we're about to start. Today's topic is multiplication of mixed numbers. But before we dive into the multiplication of mixed numbers, let's discuss first what is a fraction. A fraction is a part of a whole thing or a part of a group of things. For example, 1/8 of a pizza or 1.5 oranges. There are various parts of a fraction, namely the numerator and the denominator. The numerator is the number at the top. It tells how many pieces you have from the whole. For example, if we were to look at a circle that's divided into 4 pieces, one piece is shaded simply because the numerator is 1. At the bottom, you have the denominator. This tells us how many pieces the shape is divided into. For example, we're looking at the same circle. The circle is divided into 4 pieces. That's because the denominator is 4. But why are fractions important? Why do we need to learn about fractions? Fractions are important because they're used in everyday life. For example, let's say a store is offering a discount at 1/3 of the sales price. How would you know how much discount you're having or how much money you're saving if you don't know what 1/3 is? Or perhaps you want to bake a cake, but the recipe to bake this cake asks for you to use half a teaspoon of baking powder. How would you know what half a teaspoon of baking powder is if you don't even know what half is? Well, if you don't know, you may risk having the cake being dense instead of fluffy. Knowing how to use fraction is therefore an important mathematical and life skill. When looking at mixed numbers, it is important to note that mixed numbers can also be converted into improper fractions. However, they are both worth the same. They're only written differently. Mixed numbers are made up of a whole number and a separate fraction, while improper fractions do not show whole numbers separately. Instead, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. For example, let's look at the mixed number 2.5. If that number were to be converted into an improper fraction, the improper fraction would be 5/2. In case you would have forgotten how to convert a mixed number to an improper fraction, let's work a quick example. In this case, we're going to look at 2 3/4. To convert 2 3/4 into an improper fraction, we simply multiply the whole number by the denominator and add the numerator. I repeat, to convert a mixed number to an improper fraction, we simply multiply the whole number by the denominator and add the numerator. In this case, we're going to multiply 4 times 2, and to that we're going to add 3. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 3 would give us 11, but 11 as it is not a fraction. We have to write back the value of the denominator, which is 4. Therefore, the mixed number converted into an improper fraction is 11/4. Now let's dive into our actual topic, which is how to multiply mixed numbers. When multiplying mixed numbers, we have to first convert these mixed numbers into improper fractions. Then, if it is necessary, we can find the lowest common multiple, and then we multiply and then convert that answer back into a mixed fraction. So I'm going to do 2 examples with you, and then you'll do one on your own. For our first example, we're going to multiply 1.5 by 2 1/5. To do this, we're going to first convert each of those mixed numbers into an improper fraction. To convert the first mixed number, which is 1.5, to an improper fraction, we simply multiply the whole number by the denominator and add the numerator. In this case, we're multiplying 1 times 2 would give us 2, plus 1 would give us 3. Therefore, the improper fraction is 3/2. Now we're going to convert the second mixed number into an improper fraction. That mixed number is 2 1/5. To do this, we're going to multiply the whole number by the denominator and add the numerator. In this case, we're multiplying 2 times 5 and we're adding that to 1. 2 times 5 would be 10 plus 1 will give us 11. Therefore, the improper fraction would be 11/5. Now that we have both of our mixed numbers converted into improper fractions, it's safe for us to multiply. To do this, we simply multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. In this case, the two numerators would be 3 and 11. 3 times 11 is 33. Now we multiply the denominators. 2 times 5 would give us 10. So the fraction we arrive at is 33/10. So now that we're finished multiplying and we would have arrived at an answer of 33/10, we cannot leave the fraction like that. We have to convert that fraction back into a mixed number. And to do this, it's quite simple. You simply divide the denominator by the numerator. So if we were to divide 33 by 10, that would give us 3. But we will still have 3 remaining. So the remainder becomes our new numerator, and then we write back the denominator. In this case, our answer would be 3 3/10. Just in case that first example wasn't clear, let's work a second example. For our second example, we're going to multiply 3 1/4 by 3 1/3. To begin, we're going to convert our mixed numbers into improper fractions. The first mixed number is 3 1/4. To convert this, we're going to multiply 3 by the denominator, which is 4, and add 1. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 would give us 13. So our new fraction, or our improper fraction, would be 13/4. Now we're going to convert the second mixed number into an improper fraction. We have here 3 1/3. To convert this into an improper fraction, we're simply going to multiply the whole number by the denominator and add the numerator. In this case, we're multiplying 3 times 3. That would give us 9, plus 1 will give us 10. So our improper fraction now would become 10/3. Now that we have both mixed numbers converted into improper fractions, it's time for us to multiply. To multiply, we simply multiply the numerators by themselves, then the denominators by themselves. So, in this case, we have 13 times 10. 13 times 10 will give us 130. Now, the denominators, 4 times 3 will give us 12. So, we would have arrived now at a fraction of 130/12. Now we can convert this fraction back into a mixed number by simplifying it. In this case, we're going to divide 130 by 12. 130 divided by 12 will give us 10. So our whole number is 10. But there will also be a remainder. 10 would be the remainder. So 10 is our whole number, and then the remainder, which is also 10, becomes our new numerator. Therefore, our mixed number is 10 10/12. And it's as simple as that. Now it's time for you to try an activity on your own. Now it's time for you to work your example. You are going to multiply 3 1/8 by 2 2/3. Good luck! Were you able to get all correct? Let's verify. We were asked to multiply 3 and 1/8 by 2 and 2/3. To do this, we're going to start off by converting both mixed numbers into improper fractions. First, let's take 3 and 1/8. To convert 3 and 1/8 into a improper fraction, we follow the same concepts. We multiply the whole number by the denominator and add the numerator. In this case, we multiply 3 by 8, which will give us 24, and we add 1, which would give us 25. So 3/8 converted into an improper fraction becomes 25/8. Now that we're finished with that, let's convert our second mixed number into an improper fraction. This mixed number is 2 and 2/3. To convert it, we're going to multiply the whole number by the denominator and add the numerator. In this case, it's 2 times 3, which will give us 6, plus 2, which will give us 8. So our improper fraction then would be 8/3. Now that we have both of our mixed numbers being converted into improper fractions, it's time for us to multiply. In this case, we're going to multiply 25/8 by 8/3. Now, if you notice, there's an 8 below the 25 and there's an 8 above the 3. Now, when you have a situation like that, you can cancel out. So we cancel out the 2 8s. What do we have left? We have 25 as our numerator and 3 as our denominator, right? Now we can convert that back into a mixed fraction. And to do that, we're going to divide 25 by 3. How many 3's are in 25? That would be 8. However, we will still have a remainder of 1. So 8 is our whole number. 1 becomes our new numerator, and then we write back 3 as our denominator. So our mixed fraction would be 8 and 1/3. I trust that you would have gotten it correct. But that has brought us to the end of our lesson, boys and girls. I want you to remember the words of Paul Halmos. The only way to learn mathematics is to do mathematics. This means that if you wish to be successful at your upcoming exams, you must practice. Thank you once again for tuning in, boys and girls, and goodbye.